students. Today we are going to start with a chapter of nationalism in India. The very word nationalism specifies that how the Indians who were under the British rule, or we can say that India, which was the colony of British, was suffering since so many years. No doubt from time to time there were small revolts, rebellions were there. For example, the revolt of 1857. But since large number of Indians were not involved in those, therefore the revolt of 1857 could not have the result it was expected to. The spirit of anti-colonialism, which had spread at that time in India and other colonies, was now at its height. Similarly, in India, which was reeling under the atrocities of the British, now wanted British to leave India. Therefore, starting from 1857, then 1885, inception of the Congress, and till 1914, there were a series of events which finally led to the freedom of India in 1947. Now, in this chapter of nationalism in India, in class 10th, we are mainly going to read about two movements, that is, non cooperation and civil disobedience movement. And these movements are specifically attached with the coming of Mahatma Gandhi to India in 1915. The First World War had started in 1914 and ended in 1918. Many countries of the world were directly or indirectly involved in this war. Since India was the colony of British, therefore India was also indirectly involved in the war. During the war, forced recruitment took place, and the Britishers had promised that once the war will be over, India will be given some favorable responses to their demands and requests. But once the war was over, rather, the situation became much worse. Taxes were increased because British had suffered huge losses in the war. Therefore, the poverty increased, and we know that the Indians were exploited on all the three fronts, that is, the social, political, and economic. Thus, the people were now very much tired of the British rule, and with the coming of Gandhiji in 1915 starts a new era of freedom struggle. Gandhiji had understood that why Indians were not successful, because somewhere or the other some Indians were still cooperating with the British, resulting in the success of the British in ruling over India. Mahatma Gandhi had already successfully tried the method of satyagraha in South Africa. Now, when once he came to India, one event which is very important, that is, in 1919, after the First World War ended, a treaty was signed in which the Ottoman Empire was dismembered, and the Muslims all over the world were very angry over this event because that was the seat of the Khalifa, that is, the head, religious head of the Muslims. So Gandhiji saw that these two events, that is, the ending of the First World Wars and the hardships which the Indians were facing, and the treaty which was signed, and the anger under which the Muslims were now. These events gave him the idea that if Hindus and Muslims fought for the freedom together, or he could convert the localized movement into a mass struggle, then only India can be successful. Therefore, starting from 1916 to 1918, he toured India extensively. In 1916, He went to Champaran, Bihar in 1917, to Kheda, Gujarat, and again in 1918, Ahmedabad. So Gandhiji went from place to place, motivating people towards or asking for their cooperation in fighting against the British. Because until and unless the national movement was a mass movement, it cannot be successful. Moving further, we observe that the tours taken by Mahatma Gandhi were very successful. So now Mahatma Gandhi was also encouraged that he can take now further action. So he thought to implement Satyagraha against the proposed Rowlatt Act. Now, what was Rowlatt Act? Rowlatt Act was an act which was proposed by the British government, and the enactment of which will give powers to the British government to imprison any person for 2 years without any trial. So this was very arbitrary in nature. So there was a general discontent among the people, and people wanted to protest against this. Before this, also, we have talked about Satyagraha. So Gandhiji did not want that the movement should go violent. He wanted the people to protest in a peaceful way and to cause harm to the British Empire through the method in which the Britishers were not familiar, because Britishers were no doubt mighty, powerful as far as the strength, technology, and arms, that is, the possession of weapons with them, was concerned. We knew that is, the British were superior. Therefore, Gandhiji wanted to adopt a method in which we can achieve more than from the British, that is, victory. And we could not achieve victory by having face to face war with them. Therefore, he adopted the method of Satyagraha. But another important event which took place in 1990 was the Jallianwala Bagh massacre. We all are very familiar with this, that how in Amritsar people had gathered for a peaceful meeting at Jallianwala Bagh, which had only one entrance. And purposefully, General Dyer blocked the entrance to the garden, that is the Jallianwala Bagh, and attacked at the people who were attending a peaceful meeting over there. So this incident now made it double sure for the people that we are not going to achieve independence through peaceful means as far as the British were concerned. Therefore, we have already talked about the Ottoman Empire. A Khilafat committee was formed, and in the Congress session of September 1920 at Calcutta, it was finally decided to launch the non cooperation movement. Now, finally, the non cooperation movement was launched. Non cooperation, as the name itself suggests, that is, not to cooperate with the British. Earlier ones I had made the reference that Gandhiji was of the opinion that Britishers have been successful to establish their empire in India because of the cooperation which they got from the Indians. So, the best method to oppose the British was not to cooperate. And it was decided that this movement would unfold in stages. That is, the first stage will include surrender of titles. Surrender of title means that the Britishers used to give titles to the kings, to the Indians, and that it was decided that all such special titles which were given by the British to the Indians would be surrendered. Surrendered means that those individuals will, it was a kind of an award. So they will surrender those and not accept being called. Next was boycott of civil services. Civil services is at the bureaucrat level, administrative level. Next, then further, they will also boycott the army. They will not recruit or they will not join the British army. Next, police, and then courts. That those Indians who are having various positions, posts in the coasts will stop going to the coasts, and then the Indians will not participate in the legislative councils. Then they will also stop going to the schools which are being run by the British, and of course, boycott of foreign goods. So, all these were on the agenda as far as the non cooperation movement was concerned. And people who were already under a lot of oppression participated with great enthusiasm in this movement and gave their full fledged cooperation to Mahatma Gandhi in launching of this movement.